Hey guys, this is Growth Beast, co-founder of Growth Stories, the first on-chain marketing newsletter in the space, and I'm trying something new. I want to have a marketing minicast featuring the top voices in Web3. Today, I've got Chris Comrie, head of favorite creator program, and this is the hottest on-chain social app right now, right? If you want to be on Farcaster, you want to be on Lens, you want to keep your social graph, definitely download the app. There's no better place to start. Chris, this is a new format because I want podcasts to be as digestible as possible. And even if you have 50 minutes to spare, then you can go for it. I'll fire up 10 questions with about 60 seconds each to answer. If that all sounds good to you, we can get this started.
Let's rock.
All right, let's go. You started your on-chain content journey almost 2 years ago. What prompted you to start posting on Lens to not go down the X rabbit hole?
Oh, God. Well, really, I did both. One, I was just excited about it. It was new tech. You know, I'd always been interested in content creation from way back in the day, had dabbled in a couple different things. But what's funny is I actually thought I was late to it. I remember when Stani, the founder of Lens Protocol, put out a request to sign a document saying that they wanted to rebuild social media on Web3 blockchain rails in a decentralized, permissionless manner. And I saw that happen and, bookmarked it and was like, hey, I'll come back to this, check it out. A couple months later, forgot about it, saw it again. I was like, oh, shit, I got to try it out. And then just started having fun and started dabbling with it.
Nice. Okay. Well, that's cool. So people probably don't know this, but you were the biggest on-chain creator on Lens. What would you say the recipe for success is?
Oh God, it took a while to get there. When I first started, I was like, oh shit, nobody cares. These videos are horrible. And it's true. Nobody did care and they were horrible, but I just grinded at it day after day. Some of the big things that, helped get there, probably number one was absolutely consistency. Just keep posting, keep trying different things. When I first started out creating the content, and I found kind of a niche in like educating people on what was happening in Web3 social specifically. But when my first, 15, 20 videos, I was just making random shit about things that I thought were interesting. I was talking about DeFi. I was talking about NFTs. I think I was talking about ENS names, whole bunch of just random stuff that I thought was interesting. And then I noticed that a lot of traction started to happen when I started explaining what's going on in the ecosystem, why it's important to have Web3 social. What are the different apps? How do you use the different apps? What does it mean to mint a post? What are the things that you can do on Web3 social that you can't do on an X or on a Facebook or on an Instagram or on a TikTok? And just people started paying attention more to that. And so I doubled down on that topic, and it was something that I was interested in. So it was kind of a combination between what do people actually care about and what am I interested in making? And that synergy is what kept me going.
That's cool. I mean, this is mintable, so we definitely have to hit collect when
Mint that shit, baby. Come on.
Mint it now. Okay, so you've been a creator now. What's it like to transition from the creative role to the actual head of creative program at Favor?
It's cool. It's a lot of fun. I get to meet and hang out with awesome people like you, and I mean, we're over 100 creators now in the Favor Creator Program. It was honestly pretty easy and pretty natural. I mean, having been in those shoes, and I still do consider myself a creator. I still make some content every now and then. So I understand what the creators are going through. I understand the troubles and tribulations that come along with it. I understand how it feels when you think nobody's paying attention, and I understand how it feels when people start paying attention and you get some wins under the belt. So having gone through that whole thing, I was probably a pretty good candidate to be running that, considering I did it all. And it's important too because it's interesting. When I first started my content journey, I wasn't exactly sure how it was going to end. And it still hasn't ended. We're still early, I believe. But, it was just kind of a good transition and something that felt natural, fit my personality and fit my skill set and fit my interests.
Well, definitely good fit. I can attest to that. I've been to ETC. I told people I'm a creator on the creator program. So people kept asking me, how do you go about building this creator program?
Oh, God. You honestly kind of just making it up as you go. Like, we're just making shit up, throwing it at the wall, see what sticks. I will give a huge shout out to Lens Protocol and Bradley and Christina and Stani. Lens Protocol started a creator program early on, and so I went through that. And so I picked up a lot of things that I liked, some things that I thought could be improved on, and then some kind of off-the-wall ideas that we talked about. And a huge shout out to Saska, who is also helping head up the creator program here. And then Jonathan and everyone else at Favor as well, kind of providing air cover, air support, and then, kind of giving the leeway to kind of experiment and try these different things. So we modeled a lot of the things off Lens Protocol creator program. And then we're taking in feedback from some things. People will suggest some things. I'm not sure when you're planning to air this, but we're having our growth workshop. We'll bring in all the creators. We're going to hear from some of the biggest favorite creators, Ivana Coin Empress and Carla Monty from Montyverse, and they're going to talk about the things that they went through in growing some massive profiles on Favor. So it's just kind of an iteration thing, and we're going to keep it running.
Okay, well, I'll try to air it way before that so people find out about it. I think we've got less than a week. So let's go team edit. Okay, you've talked about this, but like what do you think makes it special, right? You've definitely tailored it based on what you've seen from Lens. What do you think makes the Favorite Creator program special?
I mean, I'll give a huge shout out to all the creators in there. I mean, they're just like cool fucking people. I don't know how else to put it. They're hungry, they're hustlers, people like you, people all over the spectrum, and even from people. What's cool about the program is there's people all over. We've got podcasters, we've got writers, we've got type E girls, shit posters. I mean, everything that you can kind of imagine across the whole gambit. Video creators, people just post food pictures, people post jewelry pictures, digital artists, musicians, everywhere across the gamut. And I think that combination of just everyone kind of coming together, sharing off each other, providing feedback. And I know personally there's groups within the chat that are kind of like really close, and I hang out with some of the different groups, and they're bouncing ideas off of each other. So hope to be able to provide some, whether they're up and coming creators, up and coming artists, or they're some Web2. We've got one guy in the program who had like a couple million on Instagram and huge on YouTube as well. So but was bridging into Web3, and he's absolutely crushing it. It's just a cool group, and we do a lot of things that if you really understand what a blockchain is, if you really understand decentralized permissionless networks, you understand that the creators and the community is the only thing left. And this goes for NFT projects, this goes for Web3 social apps, this goes for L2s. I mean, everyone, this is the reason why Luca and Pudgy Penguins are launching their own L2, because they've got such a strong community. I think they're going to fucking crush it. So the community and the creators, who are a subset of the community, and they really rally around each other and the app and Web3 social in general. And if it weren't for them, we would be absolutely nowhere. Internally, we're doing everything we can to support them and fuel it, and we want to see the whole thing take off.
And what do you think other protocols can learn from this? I mean, you've worked in DeFi before. Do you think non-social dApps can leverage content creators and replicate Favor success?
Absolutely. It's the same exact shit. The same thing I just said. If you're a DeFi project, if you're an NFT project, if you're an L2, if you're some DEX on some, small little kind of L2 roll up somewhere. I mean, the only thing, again, you and I could go fork Optimism right now. We could fork any protocol we want. We could fork Aave. We could fork MakerDAO. We could fork Lens Protocol. We could fork Farcaster. I mean, everything is forkable. So, which means the only competing feeding field is a community. It's the people who care. I mean, but you look at the meme coins that have taken off. They're worthless vapor, except people care. People have cared about Dogecoin for a long time. It's just a fork of Bitcoin. Bitcoin's a meme coin. If nobody gave a shit about Bitcoin, we wouldn't have Bitcoin. Sure, there's, it's the most decentralized network. I get it. But if people stopped caring, it would be absolutely worthless. So if you're a project, if you're a protocol, if you're an app, if you're an NFT project, if you're a media personality, I mean, the community is the only thing you should be focusing on. And if you don't have the community, you're dead on arrival. And if you have the community, you fuck them over, you're still dead. So don't fuck over the community.
Yeah, I got to pay attention to that.
I've been preaching. At least I'll try.
And so let's say you start as a project and you've replicated the creator program, but how do you scale, right? How do you go about scaling the program itself? What do you look for in particular?
Or do you mean if you wanted to replicate a creator program, or are you saying if you wanted to
a creator program? Yeah. So let's say you've started, you've announced it. How do you go from, let's say, 5-10 creators to 50?
Sure. Well, it's a lot of work, first of all. In the early days of the creator program, a lot of them were just kind of my friends. Having been, one of the biggest creators on Lens, I just hit them up. I was like, yeah, we're launching this thing. And they're like, okay, we're in. It's slightly different if you don't already have that kind of head start. But, if you go back when I first started, I didn't have any friends. I didn't have any connections, things like that. I started from ground zero. So it's a little bit more difficult if you don't already have that network, but it just takes work. It's sweat equity. You got to grind for it. And then once you kind of get the snowball running, it's a lot easier because you can go hit up the group and they've got more friends, and then it kind of just grows exponentially. The snowball starts running down the hill. But in the beginning, it just takes a lot of momentum to get it up and going. But you can ask anyone internally, and our big bet is that like it's going to pay off pretty good, and it has so far. So I would say it's definitely worth the effort.
So then what would you say has been the best part of working with creators?
Fuck, man, I'm competitive. So it's like, it's fun, I see them crushing it with their content, and people are making really cool stuff. A lot of like flavored content, throwing in like the faces of Jonathan, the CEO founder, and, some of the other people. It has been hilarious. We announced that TGE was going to happen in July. It didn't happen. We had to push it back a little bit. A small percentage of the community was pissed. They're like, fuck you, you're scammers, throwing FUD everywhere. We're fighting the FUD. We're like, we're in this thing too, we're doing our best. But what was interesting is a lot of the creators, a lot of the strong community started making memes and rallying around Favor and rallying around the project and rallying around each other. And it was really cool. I was like, kind of proud Papa Bear for a moment there. And we talk about it internally too. It was a really cool moment. So that was something that was really interesting. And I didn't quite expect, when you delay a TGE like that, again, some people get upset, but some people are like, hey, do you understand, like you got to do what's the best move for the long-term health and sustainability of the project. So that was a decision we made, and it was just cool to have everyone rally around it.
Yeah, that totally makes sense because of the market conditions. Last question, because this is a mini cast. I want the audience to get to know you. So if you could have dinner with any 3 people in crypto, who would they be and why?
Ooh, dinner
can be drinks too.
3 people in crypto. Shit, I don't know. I didn't see this question coming. I'd probably throw Dan from Forecaster on there. I haven't met him IRL. I haven't actually met Stoney either IRL. So I'll throw those 2 on there. I guess will be my first 2. Who else? Who do I think is working on something interesting? I might throw Luca from Pudgy Penguins up there too. I think he's really hustling. I've met him before, but I haven't like sat down and had dinner or anything. So yeah, I'd go with those 3.
Yeah, I was thinking that you might say Luca as the 3rd person. Thanks again for coming. I'm super excited to see Favor's exponential growth after social comes out. I'm sure it's going to be very shortly. So, for those of you still listening after 10 minutes or so, do go ahead and collect the episode and subscribe to the Growth Stories newsletter. We're punching out some really cool growth deep dives and the latest marketing news. So, Chris, thanks again for joining. This was like super enjoyable. And guys, you're going to see the edition number 2, 3, 4, hopefully 40, 50.
Thanks for having me. It was a lot of fun.
If you enjoyed this video cast, please subscribe to the show and end this episode.